Oh my god, Eduardo, did you submit this chart to give me a headache? What can I say about this? It looks really pretty. Yeah, please show it to Netflix. There's like no new and good shows recently. Like, I don't know what to watch. In this video, I'm going to critically judge my subscribers' trading charts, whether they are yay or a nay. Beware, because I am not holding back. Welcome back to another Humble Trader video. I received hundreds of trades and juicy charts from you guys after posting this on my Instagram story. While most of you are stock traders, I'm also seeing a lot of good execution charts from futures, cryptos, and forex traders. So I'm really excited to go into my computer today and rate every single one of your charts. And I promise, if this video gets 5,000 likes, I'm gonna step up my game and make this new series even more exciting for all of you guys and girls. So make sure to smash the like button, and now let's critically judge this first chart of the day. So our first chart here is from Skyler. His trade is on Meta on the short side on November 4th. So looking at his trade here, you can see on that day, the stock spiked to a high of $91 here and then sold off down to $89. Bounced a little bit and then sold off even more. In the submission, he did say that there was a little bit of a FOMO entry down there at $89, which is over here, a little bit of FOMO entry, but I'm glad he added on the bounce. As long as that ad wasn't oversized, I think it's fine. But he did also mention that he hasn't traded for like a month, so he's just trying to ease back into it, which I think it's a good idea. And you can see he covered everything down here at $89.50, which is, you know, probably still a small, a decent trade, but you can see the downside move was all the way down to $88.50, which is probably his actual predetermined price target down here, especially looking at the support lines that he's drawn on the side. So I think what he did well on is that he recognized that, hey, he hasn't traded for a while and he needs to ease into the trade and just to, like, you know, get your feet wet again back into the market. I feel the same way after, heck, just a couple of days off from the market. But what he can definitely do better, Skyler, if you're watching this next time, is to wait for your entry. And ideally, wait for your chart to form and for your entry to form on the 5-minute chart. So looking at the same Meta chart here, so this is the same day. If you had used the 5-minute chart, the bounce to VWAP is a lot cleaner. Even if it's not all the way precisely at VWAP, at least that gives you like a cleaner bounce to short into, rather than shorting near the lows down here on the 1-minute chart. I almost never use 1-minute charts on the large cap stock. By using a bigger time frame that allow you to have better entries for large cap stocks, especially when they're really volatile like Meta in this example, and allow you to hold on longer for winners. So instead of covering right here at 89.50s, you can see there's more downside to yesterday's lower day around $88.50. The next chart we have is from Dwayne. So he also shorted PayPal to the downside. So you can see on the chart over here, he shorted around this $84 mark. He immediately covered a little bit quick around 83.40s, 83.20s, re-shorted some at 82.80s, and then covered all the way down here at $82.60. If you had used a 5-minute chart, so much cleaner. Once again, using 5-minute charts does not only allow you to time your entries better, but also allow you to ride the winners longer. So you can see there's no 5-minute green candle on this day till all the way down here till lower $80. So even if you shorted down at 83.80s, risking $84 reclaim, your risk is probably 30 cents. And you have downside move to all the way down to $80, right? Because looking at daily chart, this is the day we're talking about. You can see that once you broke down this orange line, the $84 mark on the daily, on this particular day, you have downside all the way to 81s, potentially $79, so closer to lower 80s. So the risk reward is definitely there, especially if you're only risking about 30-40 cents. That's great risk reward. So if you're using the 5-minute charts, that will definitely help, even if you're just using one entry, one exit out, instead of going in and out every couple minutes, like what you did there, Dwayne. So that's what I would suggest. While you have good entry and you look for a good setup, now it's about how to maximize that. Instead of having to go in again, cover, and then re-enter again down here at $80.60 and cover. I think using the 1 minute chart could give you a lot of really false signals for reversals. That's why you covered so early, right? Because it's giving you some reversal signals. But one thing Dwayne did really well is that he planned out all his risk reward. So the red line on his chart is the risk. So 84.30s. His entry is $84. So that's the risk reward there. And downside all the way to 82.60s, the green line, that's his price target, and all the way down to 81.40s and below. So I think that's one thing he definitely did really well on, that a lot of traders don't even do. Next chart we have is from Jason, and finally a small cap stock. So it's his trade on VRAX on the short side. And this is one killer trade. He actually swung this stock on the short side overnight. So let's see here. This is the chart. He entered at 240, nice entry after multiple VWAP rejections, risking higher day, which is again 20 cents, and he saw that it closed at 230, so never reached his price target, but he decided to swing overnight. And overnight you can see pre-market, this thing gap down to $2, so that reaches price target and below. I believe he covered it at pre-market the next day at 180s. So that's a really, really nice trade overnight on the short side. So I'm glad this one worked out for you, Jason. But just be cautious that, whenever you have these shorts overnight, you have to wake up early pre-market to check your positions. And if something like HKD or HUDI happens, just remember to stop out if that ever happens. Just be careful, okay? So far, I'm pretty happy to see everyone's chart submissions here. I can see that all of you guys have VWAP indicator on the charts. So if you guys are an OG to this channel, you'll know that VWAP is my absolute favorite indicator. So let me know in the comment section below if you also use VWAP on your trading charts. The next chart we have is DKNG on the short side. So you can see on his trade on DKNG, he traded this day after a gap down overnight with earnings miss for the stock. The stock gap down from $16 prior day's close to pre-market at around $13. So that's a big overnight gap down. My style is I like to short on these spikes to test the previous pre-market resistance. If that fails, and I'll do the same as what Jens did, is adding into my winner under VWAP. Next, we have Chris on his Netflix on the short side. Oh, I swear, everyone watching me are short sellers here. Yeah, please short Netflix. There's like no new and good shows recently. Like I don't know what to watch. Anyways, on the stock Netflix, so he is looking for gap fill to the downside after the stock broke down the 263 mark on the daily chart. So looking at daily charts here, the reason he looked at the stock short on this particular day is that you can see Netflix broke down this orange line here, 263-ish area on the daily. So he went in short around here at around 11:20 market time on that day. So he shorted it here at 263s and covered around 258s down here. Nice cover, because after the cover, the stock did have a little bounce, but eventually faded a little bit lower. So overall, really nice technical analysis on this, Chris, and shorting the stock to gap fill after the little bounce. My one concern is that sometimes these large cap stocks, they test the daily key level before they break down or break out a couple of times before the eventual breakdown. Usually it's after 2 or 3 attempts. So that's why usually I prefer to wait a little bit longer, but I'm glad in this case on the Netflix short, it worked out for you the first time around. Next, we have a famous subscriber here in his chart, Alex. So shout out to you, Alex, for submitting your chart and your lovely trade explanation on the forum. So Alex had mentioned that he bought around 700 shares of Coinbase, which is at $54.83 average, and he also bought 10 calls with $60 strike price. He did mention that he's not looking for the big reversal move, which is something I trade once a while, especially on these large cap names. So what he's doing is that he's trading something both fundamental and based on technicals, and he's looking for the range. You can see that he entered the stock at the lows at this day around $54, and he sold into around the close at $57. That's a really decent, basically a 3-point move to the upside. Very nice trades. I don't know whether he exited the $60 calls or not, because the next day, which is today, we had some crazy volatility on Coinbase. The stock basically overnight gapped down with crypto weakness and also a lot of drama happening with FTX. So basically FTX has to get bailed out essentially by Binance because of liquidity issues. So that's what caused Coinbase to gap down overnight. But anyways, Alex had a really nice trade the day before, getting out from $54 to $57. Nice trade on the reversal. Next stock, we have a submission from Eduardo. So he's my friend that I met at Traders for a Cause this year. He's also featured in one of my interviews before.
For a while.
Oh wow, is there anything you cannot do?
A lot of things that I cannot do, that's why I'm trading.
But oh my god, Eduardo, did you submit this chart to give me a headache? Oh my god, I mean, it's probably more on the short side, it looks like it, but oh my god, there's so many arrows. So from the interview, I remember that he did mention that he's more price driven rather than just shorting all the time. But in this example, KBO, the small cap stock, I mean, if you look at a daily chart, it's a clear short, especially on this day when the stock got halted and went up to test that $10 daily level. Here you can see on the $10 area. That's why if you look at the chart, a lot of his entries on the short side are close to that $10 mark. But man, I know he recycles a lot of shares, but I didn't know it's this much. Anyways, Eduardo, I'm sure you made money on this trade by now. You can see the stock is gapping down the next couple of days from 10s down to $7, and now it's like there's like literally no volume today, trading at around $6 and $5. So I'm glad you made money on this trade, but you should also pay me because that just messed up my eyes. Once again, if you haven't checked out the full interview from Traders for a Cause, then make sure to give it a watch. Alright, enough stock charts. Now we're gonna be looking at futures trading charts for a change. Full disclosure here, I've never traded futures, so I'll be looking at these charts from a purely technical analysis perspective, but I'm really down to try it. So the first futures chart is from Rocky. So Rocky says that he's a fan of my content, thank you very much, and he's been following me for a while now, even though he only trades index futures. Now let's take a look at his trade right now. So you can see on this chart here, he placed 3 separate trades. He did mention that he used the indicators to help him for long entries and short entries. He uses the MACD and the stochastic RSI. So both of these indicators are something I mentioned before on the channel. When I was trading stocks as a beginner, I used these indicators for entry points to help me gauge an entry. So it definitely helps a lot. So basically, you're looking at RSI and MACD over here. So when MACD rolls over, the blue line rolls under the white line. That's when, you know, for this trade, he got in on the short side over here. And then once it starts reversing over here, he got in on the long side. He bought down here, a couple contracts, and then sold it into the highs. I think this is a workable strategy, and it did seem like he is trading part-time. I think it's fine to trade this way, just like I feel like you're missing out on a lot of the big moves. Have you thought about, you know, using trailing stops to, you know, see while you're away, you can set a hard stop? And if the trend continues, you can put like a range order to take profit or to stop you out on the remaining shares. So that's something I probably would work on, is to see if you can hold on to your winners longer, especially after you nailed an entry. So nice work, Rocky. Maybe one day you can teach me how to trade futures. We have another futures chart here from Dr. John. So, oh, and he's another famous subscriber. So shout out to you, Dr. John. What can I say about this? It looks Really pretty. So basically he planned the trade on the short side with his Fibonacci extensions here. So once it went all the way to reach that point and starting to reject, as you can see on the candles here. What kind of, these are 5-minute candles? Okay, good. So once it starts rejecting that 661.8% mark, that's when he got in short. I'm not quite sure where the entries are. I kind of wish it was there. It would help me out a lot. But let's assume he shorted here and this thing broke down and I guess he covered into this flush here. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell without entry and exit points on the chart. But Dr. John, can you fix my eyes next? Because I clearly cannot read your chart. Next, we have the crypto traders. I'm so glad that there's still crypto traders joining the party here despite being a crypto winter. So we have a submission from Arnell. Hopefully I'm saying your name right, Arnell. But what I love is your Twitter handle, DGen After Dark. If I were to have a new Twitter handle, instead of Humble Trader 18, it's gonna be DGen 24/7. So looking at his charts, you can see that he shorted the BNB USD pair. Is that Binance and USD pair? Is that what it is? BNB. Oh, Binance coin and Binance USD. I literally had to Google it to find out what it is. That's how much I know about crypto. So you can see that on the charts, he's looking at this Binance pair with 50 EMA, this pink, sorry, not pink, yellow line here. He's saying that it's really respecting that 50 EMA. It's acting as resistance. So after seeing this multiple times, once here, he got in on the short side on this point number 2 here. So you can see he shorted over here at point number 2. Maybe he added down here at number 3. I wish these crypto and futures charts have execution arrows. That will make my job so much easier. So he entered on the short side after seeing the rejection on the 50 EMA. So that's good. And he was saying that there were a couple of times where he was, considering getting stopped out because the stock seems to have some trouble during the consolidation range, in which it kind of tried to break out of this range and to break out of the 50 EMA, but still rejected. So he held on with a price target around prior day's close area, which is this little dotted line here around $317. So that's his price target, and he eventually covered into that. So I'm glad you were able to hold through this little consolidation range here for the short side. So that's a nice little profit. The entire trade took him about 2 hours. Whoa, 2 hours at night. 10 p.m. all the way to 11 or like midnight. Okay, I can see where that handle DGen After Dark come from. Overall, very nice technical move. So I have a question for you, all of you crypto traders out there. Does that mean you just never sleep? Since the market for crypto is technically open 24/7. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm really curious to see what a lifestyle is like for crypto traders. So you can see from all of these chart submissions, whether it's trading stock, futures, or crypto, as long as you have proper technical analysis fundamentals, you can use that to trade almost any asset classes you want. As long as you have the right strategy and find your own trading style. And once again, if you want to submit your charts in the future for me to review in a future video, then make sure to comment down below to let me know, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to follow me on Instagram, because that's where I get all of my submissions. So if you want to learn how to properly draw support and resistance and do technical analysis, make sure to check out my video over here. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. I'm the Humble Trader, and I'll see you guys next time.